London 1802 is a sonnet which is dedicated to John Milton. The poet William Wordsworth was frustrated with the lack of morality of the people of his age. He wished that Milton came to the world to lift the people from the degenerated life that they were living in. Welcome back, this is Mehjabeen. Milton, thou shouldst be living at this hour. So, uh, Wordsworth begins the poem by addressing John Milton directly. He says he wishes that Milton had been alive at that time, at the time that is 1802. He felt that Milton should have been alive at that time in London. England had need of thee. So he says that this is the time when England needs you very badly, because England is facing very challenging circumstances. The people were an unhappy lot. They had all, most of the people had degenerated. They did not have the polish and refinement that they had before. So she is a fan of stagnant waters. So she, that means England, has become like a marshy area full of stagnant waters. There was no scope for progress. There was no scope for development. Altar, that means religion. Sword means army or soldiers. And pen means literature, literary contribution, literary might. Fireside, this refers to domestic issues, domesticity. And heroic wealth of hall and bar. Heroic wealth of hall refers to the political side of England, refers to England's political affairs. And bar refers to a safe environment or a home. All these things have forfeited their ancient English dar. Dar means legacy. So England, the legacy that England had as far as altar, religion was concerned, sword, that means the might of the army was concerned, military skill was concerned, pen, literary achievements were concerned, fireside, that means domestic happiness was concerned, or as far as heroic wealth of hall and bar, that means as far as statesmanship and political affairs, matters related to political affairs were concerned, all these things have changed. All these issues have fallen. All these issues have mingled with the dust. So as a result, they have forfeited their ancient dar of inward happiness. And the people living in England, they are no longer happy. Their souls are unhappy. So genuine happiness is not something that the people living in Wordsworth times were aware of. They were not familiar with genuine happiness. We are selfish men. So the people living in Wordsworth's times, they had become selfish. They had become immoral. Oh, raise us up. So he wishes that Milton would come back, and through his influence he would raise up the people, raise the status of the people, return to us again. And that is why he invokes upon Milton. He calls upon Milton to return to them, to return to England again, and give us manners, virtue, freedom, and power. And he says that the people of the current age, at the time when this poem was written, at around 1802, he says that the people of that age in England, they lacked manners, they lacked good qualities, that is virtue, they lacked freedom, they did not have independence, they also did not have power. So these were the things that that the people were missing, that the people did not have. And Wordsworth hoped that Milton would come back and bless England with all those things that were missing at that time. Thy soul was like a star and dwelt apart. So Wordsworth says he feels that Milton's soul was like a star. That means it was like a star, it was like a celestial body that dwelt apart, that was different. Milton had characteristics and personality that were different from the people of his times. He had a lofty nature, and he was far more dignified than the other people of his times. And this is one quality of Milton that Wordsworth is pointing out. He says that Milton had a soul which was like a celestial body and dwelt apart, and just as the star dwelt apart, similarly Milton also did not mix up with the he could not be categorized in the same way as the other people were categorized. Thou hadst a voice whose sound was like the sea. And he also says that Milton had a voice through his epic poems, through his literary work. Milton gave expression in a very powerful way, as powerful as the sea. So thou hadst a voice whose sound was like the sea, pure as the naked heavens. That means pure as the cloudless skies, majestic, it was lofty, it was free, it was independent. The voice of Milton. So didst thou travel on life's common way. And then Wordsworth says that you traveled in life's ordinary way. You did travel in the ordinary affairs of life. You did move around. Your life did have its share of ordinariness. However, in cheerful godliness, but at the same time your spirit was noble, and you were a happy person, sprightly person, full of nobility and grandeur. And yet thy heart the lowliest duties on herself did lay. But despite the loftiness surrounding the life of Milton, yet he had the heart. Yet he had a very simple heart, and he did not mind performing even the meanest of duties, even the most humble of duties. He did not have any arrogance. He did not have any kind of pride. He was a very down-to-earth. He had a very down-to-earth personality, and this is what that the people of England during the time of Wordsworth were lacking in. And Wordsworth felt that if Milton came back, he would be able to inspire the people in such a way that their current status would be lifted, and that they would become better versions of themselves, and there would be prosperity and development in the country as a whole. So this is the main idea of the sonnet. With this, I come to the end of the explanation. Bye.